Hmm.
A very good afternoon and warm welcome to all of you. I am CA Dipti Jain, moderator for today's session and advisor GyaanStation. Welcomes you all in the today's session of GyaanStation KBS, Knowledge Booster Session. Will be conducted by GyaanStation every Thursday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. with the intent to update the knowledge impact of various judgment, notification, recent amendments issued by the government to our professional brothers and sisters. In the busy life, we hardly find time to update ourselves. So, weekly, 1 hour at KBS will act as a confidence booster in your day to day professional routine. This, in turn, will help you to deal with clients' requirement in an innovative way. So, stay tuned with Gyan Station by joining its YouTube channel and Telegram channel, following it on all the social media handles. We can proudly say that it's the fourth year of our EdTech platform, and we have received the award for our educational courses at BSc in the year 2022. Through GyaanStation, we are into corporate trainings, physical as well as online professional, educational, and skill development programs. We cater the professionals from diverse fields like CA, CS, CMA, HR trainings, MBAs, and financial advisors, and much, much more. You can also subscribe to our channel to watch our all earlier webinars and gain the knowledge out of that. So following that, today we have come up with a very interesting topic, an overview of corporate governance with CS K. Venkatraman sir from Navi Mumbai. He is having vast experience in this area. In today's session, we have the gracious presence of President of Income Tax Bar Association of Ahmedabad, CA Ashish Tikwaranani ji, and the Vice President CA Sridhar ji. Also, we have with us ICSI Institute of Ahmedabad representative CS Jamin Shah ji has joined us, and soon Yash Mehta ji, the chairman of the ICSI Ahmedabad, is going to join us. So, talking about today's topic, the takeaways for the all our participants are going to be the pillars which are involved in the corporate governance, growth of corporate governance in India, growth and the role of board of directors in the corporate governance, and it concerns everyone. So these five factors are going to be covered in today's 1 hour session. So I request you all to stay tuned till end. And now I request Ashish ji to please welcome all our guests today. Over to you, Ashish ji.
Thank you, Dipti ji. It is a great work you are doing in today's busy time. We should all take out time for learning and for updating yourself, and you provide a great platform for it. And before the session, as Sir said, that even after 40 years of experience, if he is learning, then we youngsters should daily learn 40 things instead of one thing. So that's a definitely a very important task. And I would also like to thank ICSI for joining us and welcome Jaimin Trivedi. And we are sure that we all youngsters will keep on learning, and every Thursday we will join and learn a new topic. And it is a really a great achievement to line up a speaker every Thursday, and on a mid working day, in a mid afternoon, learn people joining in to learn is also a great thing which you are doing, and keep it up. And we Income Tax Bar Association will be always available for you for
Thank
this
you.
great initiative which you are taking. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's a great support from your side we are getting. And now I request Dikshit Shah ji to please welcome on behalf of ICSI. I've given. Anyways, we have got a team from ICSI Ahmedabad. Now I request Jamin ji, if you can please address our today's audience. Over to you, Jamin.
Thank you very much, Dipti. And those were wise words. What Ashish ji said that we as a young professionals have a much responsibility towards the upcoming era. And I sincerely appreciate the Gyan Station that these kind of awareness sessions or knowledge gathering seminars, you would say, or the webinars which you are organizing on every Thursday, which not merely give the plethora of the information amongst the professionals, but also as it is the social media driven platform, it also create awareness amongst the non-professional business community that how much these corporate laws and implications in the business are important for the organization, business organization itself. And to concluding my words, I just welcome the Venkatraman sir, who is the company secretary, and I'm proud that he is a. I'm also from the same fraternity, and he has a plethora of knowledge and experience in the field on which he is going to deliver the session today. So I just welcome you, sir, on behalf of the Ahmedabad
Thank
chapter of
you.
the ICSI, and thank you very much, Ashish ji and Sridhar ji, for making us one of the partner in today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaminji, for your kind words and really motivating. And many more fellows are going to join us. And we expect the same support from your side, from your organization in all our upcoming programs too.
It will
So
be there. It will be there.
thank you. And now here's all about the speaker for today's session, Venkatraman sir. So with respect to Venkatraman sir, he is having 40 years of vast experience in the field of company secretary and compliance, extensive and rich experience in corporate secretarial matters like compliance, meetings, administration, capital market related laws. He has been faculty in many organizations, including many B schools, professional management, and Institute of Company Secretaries. He is an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries, and he has also passed out a postgraduate diploma in tax laws conducted by Indian Institute of Taxation, and also passed the licentiated examination conducted by the Insurance Institute of India. So with these words, I welcome you all, welcome you, Venkat sir, in today's session of GyaanStation jointly with ICSI Ahmedabad and Income Tax Bar Association Gujarat. And I welcome all the participants and wish them luck. They are going to have a very insightful session from you. The rise is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepti madam. Thank you, Jaimin sir. And thank you, Ashish sir. Nice to see all of you on a midweek working day in the afternoon post tea time or with the tea glass hidden from the screen and with more interest evinced on the tea and also on the session. Thanks for choosing a non-cricket match day. Good.
Yeah.
I have a look at the participants on the screen. I find no one with a gray hair like me. Perhaps, as you rightly said, it is 40 years of only gray hair. And in the resume, what is missing is Venkatraman is a learner, still a learner, today also a learner. And by this process, we all will learn. And I thank the organizers for this opportunity. And I'll make the session interactive. I am trying my computer knowledge. Kindly excuse me. I'm clicking one by one. I'm requesting Deepti madam to follow me and tell me whether I'm doing right. I am pressing share screen.
Yes,
For
sir.
lecture, GyaanStation, share.
Yes.
Yeah, something is on screen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My first attempt, I have done this. Good.
So you can use the full screen. Yeah, done, sir. All good to go.
We are now on a railway station, right? On the platform. Maybe platform number 1 of Mumbai Central awaiting Rajdhani Express departure. The signal is yet to be given and we are all waiting. So in this journey of today, 1.5 hours journey from Mumbai Central, what we start, we'll go through various places, various stages we will cross, and then we will reach the final destination of understanding an overview of corporate governance. So we will pass through the pillars of corporate governance, the growth of corporate governance in India. This station perhaps I will take just before reaching the destination. The role of the board of directors in corporate governance. And more interestingly, it concerns, whom does it concern? A very anxious moment for all of us. And when we move, we find it concerns you. It concerns us. It concerns Deepthi as a shareholder. It concerns Jaimin as an independent director. It concerns Ashish as an auditor. It concerns Mr. X as a secretarial auditor. It concerns Mr. Y as a debenture investor. It concerns everyone, a supplier, a customer. The whole world is connected by corporate governance. Why? I'll make the session an interactive basis. It's not that I keep only talking. It's not a one-way traffic, right? And I request you also to talk, but kindly talk to me and not talk among yourselves. And we move further. We are now at the station. What is a corporate governance scenario? We all have occupied the seat and we are looking at. We find the corporate sector has changed. Where has it changed? It has changed from the old system of have a table in front of you and then follow what your grandfathers followed and then you adopt it. So routine system of working has gone. Today you have options available in front of you. You have various options available in front of you. If my friends of Ahmedabad do not get food at home in the night, they have the option of going to Sasuma, right? Or Gordon Tal in CG Road to have dinner. Or Vashi people can go to Bhagat Tarachan. So much so, as a consumer also has options. Corporates, people connected to the corporate, they have options. And when you have options in front of you, you have a sword hanging on your head. Sir, you will be chosen only when you perform. You will be chosen only for what you have done and what you can do better, and not what you have in your name. Because everyone connected to that corporate is accountable. Everyone is accountable to each other. It's something like we studied in our high school. A cooperative unit is like a one for all and all for one. So much so, a corporate is also one for all and all for one. So get out of the train and see what's happening around. We come across various buzzwords, various billboards kept up. Compliance, board of directors, material information, significant. And you have something very glittering with the words corporate governance. You also have something risk management, change and adaptability. Sir, your responsibility does not end in declaring dividend. It also goes a step beyond the CSR. And we find that's enough. No, that's not enough. You find you turn right and you find some more board saying that you follow the rules, manage the organization better, provide a value addition at every stage. At the same time, you enjoy your autonomy. And when you have the corporate autonomy, you are able to offer an enhanced return in the hands of all the stakeholders. Friends, I request you to kindly note, I am not using the word investor at all. I am not using the word equity shareholder or preference shareholder at all. I am using the word provide an enhancement to all stakeholders at every possible point of time. And that perhaps is the objective of corporate governance. So much so, the corporate world, what today you have is like a drama stage, right? You have the 6:30 show ready. And everyone has multiple role to play. And there are different casts, various stakeholders. Everyone has to his portion of the role. I'm not referring to Section 2, Section 3 of the Contracts Act. Every party has to perform his portion of the contract. Here you don't have a contract. What you have is a binding. What you have is an attachment. What you have is a duty. And that duty makes you accountable, and which gives in commercial parlance what is known as corporate governance. So who are the stakeholders? Stop here, Mr. Venkatraman. I hear a voice. Was there corporate governance during the olden days? I switch over the screen. Was there corporate governance during Ramayana days? Any participant can, Deepthi madam, I think I have that system, participant can respond by.
Yes, we have kept the chat on. So
Okay.
participants
Chat
can
box,
respond.
I have to look at the chat box or can they talk?
You want the unmuting rights or they can chat, sir. Better they can chat.
Fine. Maryada at every stage. Manmohan sir, okay? From Navi Mumbai, all right. And was there corporate governance during Ramayana? Or was there corporate governance during Mahabharata days?
Yes.
Ramraj. So one can have say to the higher ups. Very good. Then I find someone participant, Jyoti Prajapati, saying yes. Set of rules, right or wrong. Deepthi madam is responding good. Then
We want more response from the participants.
Mahabharata also.
Whatever.
Justification for each action. Kesava Srinivasulu. Good. Ashwini Janavade also is saying justification for each action. Very good. In Mahabharata, good over evil. Mr. Manmohan Jindal has come prepared, it appears. Right. We have various answers to this. Yes, there was corporate governance during Mahabharata days. The king set the rule. He sets the rule and also all citizens follow. And what the king adopts, everybody follows. Yatha Raja, Tata Praja. There were rules also on the war front. Yes, we are aware of the rules. My friends can add to that. There were rules in the war front. Sir, it is only during business hours as defined in the Companies Act 2013. No fight after sunset. Right? Only when the sun rises, the fight starts, and there is no fight when it becomes dark. All right. Then there is also a rule. Sir, you will not kill anybody. You will not kill anybody who is a woman or a child or anyone. War ethics are there. These are the rules perhaps we see. We see the sections. And you will not fight below the rank. Somebody has mentioned. A Maharati will fight only with Atirati, Maharati and above. In our Indian army, we have the hierarchy, second lieutenant, lieutenant, captain, major, right? Lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier, lieutenant general, major general, and general. This is the hierarchy. So a captain will not fight with a second lieutenant or lieutenant. A captain will fight only with another captain or a major, right? And we also have these as the rules. Lord Krishna made use of the proviso which are provided under the rules. But was there corporate governance in Mahabharata days? Were there any other situation? There was a corporate governance. Yes, sir. There was corporate governance. What is that? In the hall, the Dhritarashtra's hall, where learned scholars were seated, Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, and so many teachers were seated. A situation was there, Draupadi was disrobed. All the participants there were silent spectators to whatever was happening. People were not raising their voice. And everyone was only a silent spectator. It was at that situation, Vidur got up and said, Duryodhan, what you are doing is wrong. One day you are going to pay a heavy price for this. And he said, I will not support any of you should a war arise between you and the other side, the Pandavas. We have seen in our Hindi movies that when the hero delivers a long dialogue, he goes up to the door and then comes back to the stage again and says, Lekin yaad rakhna, right? He also says, Mere paas maa hai, like that popular dialogue, what you see. He says, I will not support any of you if there is a war arising. He took up his bow and arrow, he broke it and he said, I will not use it. He was able to do it. Why? He was able to do it because he had his own kingdom, he had his own people, he had his own sources of income, he had his own rules to follow, he had his own principles. He was not dependent on Dhritarashtra for his survival. He was able to voice, he was able to view his ideas very freely, clearly, and fearlessly because he was not dependent on others. Section 149, subsection 6 of the Companies Act defines an independent director, right? So here is your Vidur performing the first act of corporate governance like someone who is fearless, who is not afraid of what is happening around. I'll speak the truth. Moving further, if you go out, what you find from Mahabharata days is the corporate governance is evolving, is revolving on an axis around whom? Every one of us as a stakeholder. Then, Venkataraman, what do you define as a corporate governance? We have seen in textbooks, we have seen in Companies Act, we have seen in the regulations, we have seen even in references made to the guidance notes issued by various professional institutes, CS Institute, CA Institute, other institutes. It has a few definitions given. And all these definitions collectively represent how companies are run and for what purpose they are run. 1. 2, it also defines the organization's power structure, accountability structure, and decision-making process. Fine. It also adds to that, sir, I have a set of tools that enables my management and the board of directors to run the organization in a more efficient manner. Watch the word very carefully. I'm already running it efficiently, but I must achieve a better level, more efficient manner. It's not that I run my organization more efficiently. Same time, I must provide adequate protection to the environment, the society, the world where I operate, my business unit. There I must make adequate contribution so that I am remembered. When I agree to that, I find there is a structure, the board of directors, the rule book, the process and the systems, and the transparency, complete, adequate, and timely information. All these stand as pillars of corporate governance. My participating friends are asking me the question, sir, what is this? We are not writing a theory paper for write an essay for 100 words on for 15 marks. No. I am not explaining a complete essay writing process. What I'm explaining is a bit of various loose ends. I combine them and then present to you that this is corporate governance because this gives you value enhancement. Yes, the board of directors are responsible for disclosing. Board of directors are responsible for accounting and financial reporting. How do they do that? They have the boardroom practice helping them do that. Very good. Sir, we have one Mr. Responsible who wants to come and do the corporate governance process in a very, very intellectual manner. We welcome this gentleman, Mr. Responsible. We welcome this gentleman because he has a bundle of talents. He has interpersonal skills. He has the capacity to read the mind of everybody. He is a mass attractor. He is a mediator. There is some loss happening somewhere, so he is providing security. He is providing a security insulator like. He is a media liker. He is able to handle all the communication. He is an able administrator. He doesn't come to office and goes back at 6 o'clock. No, he is focus oriented. He is result minded, result oriented. Is everyone so friendly with him? Yes, sir. All the stakeholders are friendly with him. Although he may perhaps be a business tycoon, everybody is friendly with him. He is the tomorrow's corporate governance man. If he is the tomorrow's corporate governance man, what he is doing is he is seeing what others have not seen. Because This Mr. Responsible is wearing different hats, multicolored, with different qualities, and he has a clean and clear mind. Since in his role as a corporate governance provider, adopter, he has to have a blend of interaction at all stages of his performance in his organization. The various levels in the corporate string, the various levels, employees, the managers, the shop floor employees, the suppliers, the customers, the lenders, the transport contractor, all these are stakeholders. We also have one more additional very critical stakeholder, being the regulator. Right? So Mr. Responsible has a duty to discharge towards all these people. So now I have a rule book, sir. I have an objective. If that be the case, what will be the corporate governance overview? 1. The board's role in information disclosure and transparency. And the board's art of boardroom communication, handling the business strategies, adopting the policies. Not everybody thinks that every day's process in the corporate boardroom is easy. There is everywhere a bend, a lend, a change, a flexibility. So, Mr. Responsible is also having the technique of skills to negotiate wherever he goes. He is able to communicate. My organization is meant for achieving water bottles production. My target is producing 10,000 water bottles this year. Next year, my target is producing 10,000 water bottles more. Third year, I want to acquire a company which is manufacturing glass. Fourth year, I want to expand, divert to related areas or other related areas, mobile phones. So I have a goal, corporate goal set. All my actions are rolled towards that. And in the process, sir, I conduct the business, I adopt the board protocol, and I keep all my documentation and papers ready. Deepti Jain asks me a question, Venkatraman sir, what is this? Are you keeping all your documentation ready? Are you keeping all your papers available for everybody? Now I tell Mr. Deepti Jain madam, 1 second. I also maintain high level of confidentiality in my corporate governance process. Moves on. I want to declare 40% dividend every year. I don't have adequate profits. Can I smuggle some gold, earn profit and declare? No. I must adopt the ethics of the principle. If that be so, corporate governance ethics also flows a top-down approach. The uniformed worker on the shop floor is coming late to work for 5 days in a week. We ask him, we pull him up, and the floor supervisor pulls him up and gives him a show cause notice for any wrongdoing. Can you allow the top people in the management to escape whatever they do? No. So corporate governance starts with the chairman of the organization. It is a top-down approach because if the chairman conducts himself, the uniformed worker conducts himself. And how is he conducting? He is able to explain his conduct by way of communication to the employees. Stop here. Deepti Jain tells me, sir, it is not only to the employees, it is to all stakeholders. I give a communique to all the stakeholders because I adopt the right set of principles. Stop, sir. There is something wrong happening in your company. This is an unethical practice adopted by a particular department of your company. I have been affected by this wrong happening in your company, and I want to raise this level for redressal of this practice. Yes, my corporate governance principle provides for a whistleblower mechanism. Yes, it provides there is an alarm button which can be pressed and which will attract the attention of all the concerned people and provide a redressal. Yes, sir. Go to textbook. Go to section 177, where you find the audit committee having the responsibility to oversee the whistleblower mechanism. Right, sir? It's not only achieving the objects, not only handling the complaints on one hand, on a day-to-day level, day-to-day basis, the board also has to handle various things. How does the board handle that? In the process, they come across various ethical dilemmas. They have to decide between, is it fine to do this or is it fine not to do this? Will it be beneficial to all? Will it help everybody? Will it have an impact on the corporate image? Will it have a bearing on my vision? Added to that, sir, you also have the media and the print and the social media ready with various questions. Most of them twisted. Answer will also be straight because you can't give a twisted answer. Then you get reported in the press. And you have a skill and the knack to handle this. At the same time, you are not hiding information. You are communicating with all the stakeholders. Whom are you communicating with the stakeholders with? Sir, you also have an important man sitting there among the stakeholders who keeps a continuous watch on what you're doing, an analyst. And that analyst asks you questions, you answer. Right, sir? We have the platform ready. All the passengers have got in and all of us are ready to take up the travel. And now the train is about to move. So we have a few connecting dots. What is the few connecting dots in the process? The board of directors. The board of directors also has independent directors, promoter directors, executive directors, non-executive directors, nominee directors, right? And on the other hand, you also have all the stakeholders. So there is a dot connecting all these people, and that takes you to a day-to-day process, And everyday process is changing. It's dynamic. Present rules of the game or what is significant, comparing what you had in the income tax provision about 40 years back, comparing what provision was there with respect to passing a resolution under the Companies Act. Today, what is significant? Today, are you able to apply the principles of corporate governance such that you produce a result? Regulatory changes are happening every day. The regulators come out with various changes affecting the commercial, the economic, the fiscal, the production, the human relations. Sir, I want to correct my statement. It is not affecting. I should use the word having an impact on. What is this having an impact on? I have to give protection to all the people in my organization. Am I offering protection to all the people in the organization? Am I taking adequate insurance policy against fire, flood, and the military action, against civil right, commotion, war? Yes, I am protecting my men. Was it enough? We were thinking it was enough. Now, corporate governance has moved over a period of time. It has moved over a period of time that in the year 2013, we came out with a specific act stating prevention of sexual harassment of women at the workplace. I have another additional responsibility to protect people who are working with me. Sir, 10 years back, you had the business responsibility report. And over a period of time, you moved from business responsibility, and it is not that I have a responsibility only today. Will I be able to live there for 5 more years? Will I be able to survive next 10 years? So I have to report in my board's report, I have to provide and tell all the stakeholders, I have business responsibility and sustainability report. Will I be able to sustain in the prevailing industry, in the prevailing scenario? Will I be able to sustain in the area of operations? Will I be able to sustain with so many risks around? Now that has gone one step further. What you have, environmental, society and governance, ESG. Another talk of the town is there. So corporate governance has been progressing over a period of time. In all these places, you have always been finding the human resources providing you the solution. All right, sir. We find that this is an overall picture. Now, how do I protect and how do I act as a member of the corporate governance team? What is my responsibility? It is a competitive environment again. It's not that there's only one company operating, more than one company operating in the field. Yes, I must ensure confidentiality. What is that confidentiality I must ensure? I must have the confidentiality like what a doctor is having about the patient, what a lawyer is having, an attorney is having about his client. And that type of ethical principle I must adopt in myself. Where? Why is that required? I'll come back when I explain the duties. Because I have a legal and professional right of protection available to me. I should not be misusing any information which is available to me. I am not here to take a special lecture on the corporate laws of Securities and Exchange Board of India. A quick passing reference to, sir, if I misuse an information to my benefit or to the benefit of people who are known to me or to the benefit of a set of people, which information is not otherwise available to the public, my participating friends will quickly recollect, sir, it is unpublished price-sensitive information. SEBI, Prevention of Insider Trading Regulations, where a mere hearing that law name itself sends in jitters. I am not touching about the penalties imposable under that. So here, I have a confidentiality. What is that? Not a written agreement, not a signed agreement. My signing is here. My responsibility is here. My responsibility is below my heart. It's inside my heart. I am accountable because I am responsible to all the stakeholders connected. So this picture tells you how confidential information, I don't want to say, does it go from year to year? This perhaps to hold. Then what is this ethics? What is the business ethics? How do you uphold the business ethics? Can someone tell me? How do you uphold the business ethics? I think chat box is the only option.
I request participants to please share their thoughts on the chat box. Chat box is open, sir.
All right, but nothing is coming in. How do I uphold the ethics? I follow.
Do not indulge in malified ways to gain business.
Oh, right. Jaimin has been active to just straight away hit the point. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I want to provide return on the investment, but I don't want to provide a return on the investment by unauthorized means. Ethics and moral behavior. Yes? Complying with statutory rules. All right. Do right things even when no one is watching. Very good. Do right things when no one is watching. Right? Settings clear objective. Keeping secrets of clients. Jyoti Prajapati Madam, another practicing company secretary. Rightly responding at the right time. Keeping secrets of clients. Yes, sir. I must maintain that confidentiality. When I maintain that confidentiality, I have that business ethics. I don't tell everybody. Right? And if you are doing it in an ethical manner, when you are doing it in an ethical manner, you are not landing in any trouble. How you are not landing in any trouble? Because the law protects you. The law protects you, and it's the result of how you are adopting that ethics is seen in the performance. I have a picture. We have the two lawyers. My friends can quickly recollect this is the film Jolly LLB, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we have two lawyers, Arshad Varsi and I think Boman Irani, two lawyers standing in a court. Yes. What are we seeing there? What do we see there? It's not that I see only a courtroom. It's not that I see only two lawyers. It's not that I see only a few visitors or perhaps a police officer sitting there. What is not seen is the judge or the magistrate sitting. So what is not seen here is the justice. Each one is having a feeling that what I am doing is right. Each one says what my client has done is correct. Each one is saying in the prevailing situations, this is the right thing and he has not done anything wrong. You can't punish him. So each one has an objective of proving that what has been done by their respective client is not wrong. They are here to protect. Whereas the real protector is the magistrate. When he delivers the judgment, he protects. And that prevails. You go for an appeal against a tax demand. The department says this is payable and you resolve it. And when you resolve, you observe, yes, sir, this is the protection I have it. Fine, sir, I am sitting at the helm of the affairs. I am the managing director or I am the chairman and I am the chief executive officer. I am responsible for handling the principles of corporate governance. How am I able to do that? It's how there is an interaction happening with the all management at all levels. All levels. Be it the top level, the middle level, or the low level. And also the interaction with the shareholders, investors. Yes, they are the people who formed the company. 5 years back, I and Deepti Jain, we met at Vashi railway station and we decided that we will form a company. Each one gave 50,000 rupees. And over a period of time, we had a company, Vashi Consultancy Services Private Limited. Then over a period of time, we pulled in 10 people, we pulled in 100 people. And today, we have this Vashi Consultancy Services Limited. We have various people connected to that. So when I started, I had a vision which was not so wide. So though I have all the investors, shareholders joining the company over a period of time, I am able to provide them a return. So I have to necessarily keep a wider interaction. I must interact with the suppliers. I must interact with the customers. I gave you an example. Sir, you are not getting your dinner, right? You have the option of pressing the button, Amazon or Zomato or what is that? You have various systems, Swiggy, where from you can get the food, right? So much so, remember, your company's customer also has other options available. And your supplier has other options available. So it depends on how you interact. This is part of your working. Sir, it's no more shareholder only. It is stakeholders. Various stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? The debenture holder is a stakeholder. The banker who is giving you money is a financial creditor. He is a stakeholder. The creditor who is supplying you raw material is a stakeholder. Right? Your transport contractor is a stakeholder. The canteen contractor is a stakeholder. All your management representatives collectively sitting in the room known as the board of directors, the directors are stakeholders. The directors will not be able to have any work done unless they have people working with them. Employees are stakeholders. Is it the list of the stakeholders? No, it extends further. Before 10th of every month or before 7th of every month or before 21st of every month, I must deposit the GST collected into the treasury of the government. I must deposit the tax deducted at source into the treasury of the government. I must file this return within 45 days. I must file this return within 21 days. I must file a corporate governance report within 21 days. Shareholding pattern, I must return with the regulators within such and such date. Yes. So your interaction in your business, you are interacting with the regulators also, the government, the tax authorities, the stock exchange, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the regulating act official. I am in mobile business, so I must file this form with a TRI. I am in insurance business, I must file this return with the IRDAI. Sir, is there any other stakeholder I have left? Any other stakeholder? Creditors is fine, supplier. Yeah, employee, I said. Government, done. Yeah. Regulators I have covered, the government. Covered fully. Anything left? Mr. Kesava assets are covered fully. Environment, right point. I have a company. I am engaged in manufacture of water bottle. And in the process of manufacture of my water bottle, I use some paints. And I use this paint. I buy this paint in 50 liters can. And I use about 48 liters once. I use 49 liters from another can. I sometimes use only 40 liters in another can. So the excess paint which is lying unusable in my factory and discharging it through a pipe flowing outside my factory. And that discharge gets connected to a nala which is flowing outside my factory. That nala meets a river 5 kilometers down the line, which is a drinking water resource for a village there. Now, before I discharge the paint into that drain outside my factory, I am duty bound to treat that effluent and then send it, because I have a responsibility to the environment. I have a responsibility to the society where from you derive. I make a profit. I have a turnover. I have this net worth available with me. I have so much of capital employed. I also have a responsibility to the society, the start point of your CSR. Yes. So your society is a stakeholder. If that be so, my corporate governance does not end here. If that be so, my corporate governance, when it doesn't end here, it's to the society I am responsible, and all regulators have a say in my management, also responsible to manage the affairs of the company collectively as the board of directors. Yes. Whom do you find in the board of directors? The promoter directors, people who started the business, people who have invested in the business on day one, people who conceived the business idea of running a business organization to achieve preset objectives as defined in your memorandum of association. So we call them promoters. We call people who are functionally responsible for various activities in the organization, and they take their day-to-day role. They take their day-to-day role in the organization's running. So we have a managing director, we have a whole-time director, we have a joint managing director, we have an executive director who are functionally also collectively responsible as members of the board. Sir, I also have some people who are not involved in the day-to-day organization, day-to-day operations, who are not involved every day's work, but they contribute to the organization. So I call them as non-executive directors. Right? There has been a need for money. So I took money from somebody, and the man from whom I took the money, he said that, sir, look, I want a board seat. So I am providing him a board seat such that he can keep a watch on me as to whether I am using the money which he has provided rightfully or rightly for the purpose for which I have taken it. Or is his interest protected? I have taken loan from somebody. I have told him I will manufacture water bottle and I'll give you a loan in 5 years' time. During the 5 years period, I'll give you an interest at the rate of 15% per annum on a quarterly basis. He has the right to watch whether I'm able to pay, whether I'm doing the business rightly, because he has given me that loan. So he is representing an organization which he has lent up. It can be a private placement man, it can be a banker, it can be a financial institution, or maybe it can be a regulator nominating my affairs, to oversee my affairs, a nominee director, right? Sir, it doesn't end there. Now comes the question. We also have one more director, independent director. Yes, sir. Who is an independent director? We are not writing the examination where we will reproduce the definition given under the Companies Act or your SEBI LODR or your other regulations, or which says an independent director is one who is independent of. What is he independent of? What is he independent of? He is independent of his association string, the string which connects him. He has no interest in the business. He has no personal interest except for one, providing, contributing ideas to the growth of the organization and get compensated for it. So what does that mean? He is not a supplier, right? He is not a part of the auditor's team. He is not a part of the advisors. Then he is not related to any of the members of the board of directors. He is not related to any of the members one level below the board of directors, what we know as the CFO, the company secretary, the chief executive officer, or whatever is the one level below the board in various organizations. Correct? Says one more point. Why am I appointing independent director? I am engaged in manufacture of water bottle. I have Mr. Hirachand Bafnaji. Mr. Hirachand Bafnaji, one of the participants here, I am able to see his name, so I use his names. Thanks, Hirachandji. I am using your name because Mr. Bafna has done a graduation in chemical engineering and he has more than 30-40 years of experience and he is an expert in the field of manufacturing water bottles. So I take him in my company's board as an independent director with the objective of Mr. Bafna will contribute to the growth of the organization. We are not taking an independent director mainly for the purpose of meeting that arithmetical level what we must have in the board of directors constitution. Correct? So, independent director is one who is having expertise, who is a specialist in his field, and or who can become a specialist, or who is sitting on different heap of knowledge, of skill, expertise, and knowledge, and who can contribute to this organization. I am taking him. He is not coming for joining the board for taking a monthly salary. He is paid in a different way. His remuneration is in a different way. We stop here. We are not getting into the managerial remuneration topic. So here we have the independent directors who are there also for contributing to the growth of the organization. So all this started with, these are the connecting dots. I have a responsibility of handling these people, of interacting with these people in such a way that my objective of corporate growth is achieved. Independent director, am I saying that, sir, you must be a chartered accountant, company secretary, electronics engineer, or a chemical engineer, you should be a doctor, you should have a string of diplomas and various certification courses, having attended and having knowledge of that, and you must also be this much of a stature? No. The Act doesn't say that. The Act says that you must be a loyal person, loyalty attributable to you. You have the appropriate skills. And if it is a company engaged in a particular type, you have a skill and expertise in that. I give a small example here. It doesn't mean that I must keep only people who are of that respective field. I can also groom people. If they are experts in other areas, I can make use of them contributing to the growth of the organization in such respective areas. I have a lawyer. My company is engaged in manufacture of water bottles. That lawyer I'm appointing as independent director, he is not having a knowledge about manufacturing a water bottle. But remember, he's a lawyer. He's a chartered accountant. He can contribute to the finance, accounting, legal, commercial areas. I can train him. I can tell him, sir, this is the company engaged in manufacture of water bottles. And here your role comes in. So your contribution is expected in these areas. And about my company, I tell you, I make you informed of what's happening in my company. I must familiarize you with the process of the organization before you join the board as an independent director or subsequent you're joining the board as an independent director. So the law does not say that you must have this qualification, right? And we move. It's not that I appoint somebody as an independent director because he is known to me. He is my friend. Look at the pictures I'm showing. Chairman's golf partner is taking the position as a non-executive director or independent director. Then after the board meeting, he comes back and asks them, sir, is your company engaged in manufacture of this particular item or that particular item? So he is not evincing any interest in the growth of the organization. So much so the organizations also have ups and downs. The whole world came to a standstill. We thought as much. We thought the whole world came to a standstill and things were under pressure and these business lines will collapse and nothing will move further. No, there were of course collapses, but it has not stopped. COVID-19 has given us more vigor and energy to withstand such situations in future. There were even provisions amended in the enactments how to conduct meetings during COVID period. So this is the evolving era where you are required to perform under pressure. Why you are required to perform under pressure? You have a bank account, you have 10 customers, you have a bank business, you have 10 customers. If you don't perform, he will move to other. You are into a particular industry. If you don't perform, if you don't satisfy, he will move to others. And because various stakeholders, various options are available in front of the stakeholders. I use this example in many other cases where if it is a user-friendly industry, like a tourism or a hotel or banking, options are there, wider. And from an investor perspective, where will he invest? Where he has invested and where he has burnt his fingers, he will definitely invest in areas which are safer for his investment, public utilities. To a common man, his objective is always having a view that, sir, it is the agriculture sector, it is the health sector which is growing. So more so, when you are engaged in such a business, you have your image built in such a way that everyone, your customer, your investor, everyone is having an interest in investing in your business. And that comes out of your corporate governance principles. Not all decisions are taken by the board of directors alone. They can't take all the day-to-day operations themselves, and all the members of the board of directors cannot attend all the meetings every day and take decisions. So what they do, there is a set of delegation of authority. So they have various second levels of decision making or recommendatory processes known as committees of the board. In my discussion today on corporate governance, I don't have the the script to explain what are the various committees. No, there are various committees under the board of directors. I am not getting into the terms of reference of each committee. But overall, if you see, these committees contribute collectively to the growth of the organization by their performance. They give recommendation of what they observe, what they see, and they explain that to the board of directors so that the board of directors, if they can take a decision at their level, they can, or if they want to take it up to other stakeholders for taking a decision on it, say shareholders approval or ministry's approval or some other stakeholders approval, they take it forward. We know various committees. We know this audit committee. We know this nomination and remuneration committee. Very, very significant. Friends, I made a reference about the independent directors. Remember, it is a nomination and remuneration committee which identifies people who can become directors in the company, right? And stakeholders relationship committee. So wide. The term stakeholder is so wide that includes everybody right from your shareholder right up to the society. So how the organization maintains a relationship with these people, that has an impact in the corporate governance. I must give back something to the society. I have a corporate social responsibility committee that recommends, sir, this is the area where we have to do. Now, not all business are risk-free. Yes, there is also a risk management committee. A point of addition here, we have a risk management policy mandatory for all companies, whereas risk management committee, this was mandatory for only the top 100 companies earlier, effective August 2021. I think 5th May 2021, notification August 21. It is applying to the top 1,000 companies. Top by top, I mean as per the market capitalization. And the functions of risk management committee is guiding the board on the various risks, how to mitigate all that. We are not getting into it. Point of consideration here is the board of directors are assisted by, are guided by, are helped by these committees in taking various decisions. Audit committee also has reference, specified terms of reference are given to it. We have 2-3 specific powers of audit committee which we deal with as a touch point later. NRC also decides the remuneration payable to directors. Sir, it is not enough you pay only remuneration as a part of the corporate governance, right? As a part of, there is no free lunch. So no one works for free. So you pay remuneration, you compensate them. No, NRC also frames policy for performance evaluation. I deal with that later. We saw this. I have one more point here. Interesting. Sir, I met Mr. I don't know who is there, Ketan Jain, and we started a business. And we said, sir, I'll give you 500 rupees. Ketan said, I'll give 500 rupees. So we both started the business with 1,000 rupees. And we said, we will start manufacturing, say, TV remotes as a part of our business, right? Objective of the business. And at the end, I say that, sir, out of the 1,000 rupees, what we have, 300 rupees, I brought raw material. I converted that by spending 200 rupees on labor. I sold the product for 600 rupees and I made a profit of 300 rupees. Here is the bank balance. I come back and tell Ketan, you and I have to understand that this is the 300 rupees profit and this is what is lying in the... No, it's because I and somebody, a participant has enabled closed captioning. Who can see this transcript? Deepthi madam, are you in? Something has
Yes,
popped
sir.
up on the
Yes,
screen.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I and Ketan, we are known to each other, so we do this. Now I have about 500 people in my business, collecting money from all the 500 people. I say that I made a profit of 300 rupees. So even if it is 2 people or 500 people, we do not accept the information as provided by the management. We want a third party to certify, yes, what these people have done is right. 500 rupees was brought in by each one of them, or 10 people contributed. Total is 20 lakh of rupees. Out of that, they made this expenditure. This is the profit and made this expenditure only for the purpose for which the business has been formed. And that third party gives an unbiased opinion, and that third party is elected by not by the board of directors, but by the people who are owning the company, known as the auditors of the company. Right, sir? So I, as the board of directors, the member of the board of directors or head of the board of directors, I have a responsibility that I must give the auditor the complete information. I should not hide anything. And I must tell him what are the policies I have adopted, that the auditor verifies and sees, yes, what is done is correct. So if the auditor says, sir, you have to pay TDS on 5th of every month, for example, sorry, maybe 7th, 10th or 21st, Deepthi madam to correct. And if I paid the TDS after 2 months collectively, there is a delay in my payment of TDS into the government treasury. That auditor is duty bound to point out, sir, there has been a delay. So I go back and tell my all stakeholders, sir, yes, there has been a delay. This is the reason for the delay. If the auditor has said that, sir, there has not been any good system adopted by the company, I go back to all my stakeholders and say that, sir, what the auditors have said is correct, and this is what we are now doing for strengthening the system. So the auditor has made a qualification, a remark, opinion, an adverse point. I collectively, as the board of directors, as a representative of the board of directors, collectively, I go back to all the stakeholders. When I put in the report, I give a reply to what the auditor has said. Here I use the word auditor to include statutory auditors, secretarial auditors also. See, if I must stop and say that I have a responsibility to report or to say what the auditor has done is rightly followed by me, I have board to explain the board in its report, the qualification, any explanation on the qualification or observation or remarks made by the auditor. Sir, if that be so, am I following the rule book rightly? What is compliance? Follow the rule book. It says pay by this, file this return, file this return. Am I following it rightly? Can I do it on a trial and error basis? Look at this slide. I am on an aircraft. And prior to the takeoff of the aircraft, the safety measures are demonstrated. And after a demonstration, if they say that this is only a rehearsal, the actual thing you will enjoy only when the plane lands in water, is it compliance? It is not. Right? Another issue is, I have to ensure that all the laws applicable to the company are followed. I have a responsibility. I report in my board's report, director's responsibility statement, where I say the company has followed all the laws applicable to it. I have not only followed income tax, sales tax, GST, or Companies Act, or SEBI, or FEMA, or prevention of money laundering, etc. No, I also have to follow, if I am engaged in manufacture, if I have to follow water pollution, if I have to follow, if I am engaged in telecom industry, the regulations of TRAI, if I am engaged in production of chemicals or drugs, the pharma, the respective drug controller rules, if I am engaged in as an insurance agent, the IRDA provisions. So all the acts, all the rules I have to follow such that I do not get a show cause notice or a love letter after 5 years from the government stating that you have to pay 5 lakh of rupees as penalty for not having followed this after 2 years. I can't go back to my stakeholders and say that, sir, sorry, I told you I followed all the acts, except that in particular year I have not paid the GST on time. That is not governance. That is not discharge of responsibility. So I have no options to ensure compliance. Right? It's time to recoup, rehearse. Now the train has started. We have the journey further going. Plan the journey further. How do you plan the journey further? Not in the same speed. We get out from the harbor line and then we move on to the fast track. We go to the Rajdhani speed. And what we do there is, board of directors, here is a test for you. What is a test? Are you adopting the professional conduct guidelines? You have some roles and functions. Are you doing these duties? Mr. Director, how are you appointed? What is your role? When will you be reappointed? Are you working here for free? No. What is your remuneration? And when can I remove you or you can get out? Stop there. I gave a reference to NRC, Nomination Remuneration Committee, which says that the performance of the directors, the performance of the committees, performance collectively of the board will be done by way of a evaluation process. In addition to that, there are meetings held by independent directors where they evaluate the performance of the chairperson. They also evaluate the performance of all other directors other than independent directors. They also evaluate whether the information given by the management to the board of directors for taking decisions is adequate, correct. So it is an ongoing process. And how do you conduct yourself? Uphold the ethical standards, act in the interest of the company. Why are you acting in the interest of the company? I have Deepti Jain as the managing director of the company. I am buying raw material from a company in which Deepti Jain's father is the managing director. So in my board meeting where that proposal to buy raw material from Ms. Deepti Jain's father, Deepti Jain madam will not vote. She will refrain from voting. She has an interest. I avoid that conflict of interest. Interested director will not vote because that transaction is falling under the related party transaction. So in my process of management, I am also not allowing any extraneous considerations. I am not misusing my position for personal interest. On top of all this, the board assists the company in adopting the best corporate governance practices. How are you able to do that? How do you do your role? Independent judgment, view it as an outsider, and scrutinize the performance of the management. You stand, at the end of the day, you think what you've done is right. Is it self-satisfaction? Whatever I have reported in the financial statement, notes to accounts, balance sheet, cash flow statement, is it correct? Do I have adequate internal control systems? There is someone who has given the money for using for a specific purpose. I have misused it. So I am not able to answer that stakeholder, that banker, that lender, that financial institution, that investor who has given me money for setting up a plant for manufacturing second unit of water bottle manufacturing unit. I have misused that. I am not safeguarding the interest. I should not be doing that. Remember, you also take into account the remuneration you are paying to the executive directors and non-executive directors. Yes, keep yourself updated. And where you are not aware of something, how it is happening, you seek an outside clarification, go to an expert. And how are you able to discharge all your duties as a part of performance of corporate governance? Attend all the meetings. Attend as many meetings as required. Wherever it is not possible for you to physically attend, sir, the law has provided you can participate by virtual mode also. And always ensure that all your concerns are raised and responded. What is more interesting here is that related party transactions, this buzzword keeps on hovering around our ears every time, because that's one area where people think there is siphoning possible. You keep yourself ready to take that situation, maintain the confidentiality, and act in the provisions of the articles, act in the good faith. Sir, what happens if you don't do that? What happens if you don't do that? There's a possibility that you may be levied or imposed a penalty. Why do you want to invite that situation? You participate with full enthusiasm. You don't come for the meeting. You don't come and say in the corporate governance report that we conducted 10 meetings, out of which 9 meetings all the directors attended. Directors come for attending the meetings, for contributing to the organization, right? And the entire board's performance is evaluated. A director is subject to 360 degrees evaluation by the respective committee, the board, the independent directors, and at the end of it, sir, every annual general meeting, your shareholders also evaluate your performance prior to your being reappointed. I have some areas where I find I am not comfortable. So if there is something wrong happening in the company, am I given a protection? Yes, there is a protection. Directors and officers insurance policy, which is a part of corporate governance, which is required to be provided to the top 500 companies, top 1,000 companies, to the independent directors. Now, moving ahead, in another 5 years' time, you will find that being available for all the directors. Sir, you told me what I should do, but am I liable for anything? Yes, you are liable only if there is something omission or commission which has happened with your knowledge, which was referred to as a part of the board process and you are aware of it, where you have given a connivance or consent to it, or where you have not acted diligently, where there has been a negligence in your performance. So please be careful, dear friends, when it comes to corporate governance. It is not only we think that it applies to listed entities. Friends, it applies to all entities. It applies even to a small 2-member private limited company. Though not mandatorily, you can adopt the principles where you have a devised proper systems, lay down the policies, formal evaluation method, and wherever you are not aware, wherever you are having a doubt, wherever you are not clear of what to do, you can always go for outside experts' opinion and then take decision. And you can always keep meetings at the convenience, subject to the limitations provided, and evaluate the performance. Even independent director, before you appoint somebody, you can in fact have a background check. That will give you how independent he is and where his performance can be taken. And directors, reliability on the disclosures made by the board of directors. Sir, in the balance sheet, I have said this is my profit. And that balance sheet is uploaded in the registrar of companies. I download that. I rely on what is that statement given. So before you sign the balance sheet, you have to ensure that everything is complied with so that the figure given there is relied by everybody. Why? Because there is a website which talks about your company. And we have a few key questions. How to approve related party transactions. We have something interesting which started in the year 2022. In case of listed entities where related party transactions are required to be approved by the audit committee, January 22 onwards, a major amendment has come in that only independent directors of the audit committee will approve. So there is also a need for being more knowledgeable. Deepti Jain madam is asking a question. Venkatraman sir, is independent director a whole-time director or is he an employee? He is an outsider or is an employee? He is not an employee. At the same time, he is not an outsider. He is there to contribute to the growth of the organization. You may reward the independent employee by way of ESOP. You can give him recognition. You can give him the position of taking part in the management, ownership of the company. Whereas an independent director is independent to business, but he contributes to the growth of the organization. Wow. So the board's role is very significant. What we find outside the road is it is dug up because today we are facing this inconvenience because we are expecting a better subway or a metro tomorrow. So the boards undergo change. They undergo various tests, situations which improve their corporate governance. A few recent changes which have come in that if you are under the threshold limits of corporate governance once, you will continue to be there for 3 years. There are changes in the definitions of corporate governance of independent directors, members. Companies are also required to have woman independent director, and non-compliance here attracts penalty. And I'm not, in view of the time constraint, I'm not getting into various nitty-gritties. Friends, information flow is one-way traffic. Once it goes, you cannot retrieve it. So be prepared. What has been the role? What has been the journey so far before we reached the station? In India, corporate governance. Yes, there was corporate governance, but there were also days globally. We had this Enron scam. We had that Satyam scam here. And after that, many things have changed. Promoter-driven companies have now started opening their eyes for welcoming directions, welcoming inputs from professionals, independents. They have started being transparent because they understand that if you hide something today, tomorrow you are in trouble. And the government has also opened up various avenues for easing. They call it EDB, ease of doing business. On top of all these fronts, you are under the scanner of everybody. You are under the scanner of the SEBI. You are under the scanner of all regulators. The system watches you. There's only one principle keep in the mind. That principle is truth alone wins. We have used the term Satyameva Jayate, right? So it's the truth that wins. And when there is a truthful description, principles, relationship, disclosure, transparent, and providing value addition in the hands of all the stakeholders, you achieve the corporate governance to the fullest possible extent. With this, there is no shortcut to success. You have to take the stairs over a period of time. We can't advocate do's and don'ts for corporate governance. Don't do this, do this. That's a matter of principle adopted by the organizations. I hope I have set upon the track of the journey from Mumbai Central to a destination where the last point, what we saw, truth alone wins. And if you perform, you are viewed high. And if it's the result that matters, it is not what you say that matters. I leave the floor open for any questions and ideas. The most awaited slide I'm presenting to my friends before I wind up. Thank you very much. That's the most awaited slide. Thank you, friends. Get back. Deepthi madam, I can now leave the floor open for any question and answers.
Yes, sir. So we are open for any questions, and you can also give the feedback for the session. Here is one poll. By the time I'm launching the poll, I request all the participants to put their questions as well as queries to the sir.
No business connection with the company, definition, absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. There's no question. Two people don't ask question who have been present throughout or who have not been there, right?
So I request all to please give the poll for today's webinar. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. I hope I haven't exceeded the time limit provided.
Yes, it's on time, sir.
Thanks.
Perfectly.
Thanks to you, madam. Thanks to you.
And here's the poll result. The showing.
There's the poll result also.
Yeah. Just to make an interactive session and the points to improve at our webinar. So one question is with respect to the that is the time when webinar is suitable. So it's absolutely fine for all the participants because it's good to go with this time. So we'll continue with it. And the second, the session is totally enlightening and we are getting fantastic comments from our participants. Absolutely brilliant, Venkat sir, from Mr. Kumar. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session. You can, sir, please go through all the comments in the chat
Madam,
box.
I trust you because
Webinar is very excellent
by all of you.
presentation.
I have shared whatever little I could share within the time limit and
Jyoti is telling Jyoti Lakshmi Pillai ji, thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. Keshav, timing is excellent, madam. Thank you so much. And absolutely brilliant session. Very enlightening. Thank you, sir. Comments are pouring on. I cannot read all the comments. Thank you all. Thank you all participants. And Venkat sir, very nice overview you have provided in a very short span of 1 hour. Even if we spend like 3-4 days reading a complete book on corporate governance, you have summarized it in 1 hour and saved a lot of time of our participants and complete overview you have provided, justified the topic very well. और बोलते गागर में सागर भर लिया तो in that 1 hour you have given like 1,000 pages output to all our participants. So
it's a learning process.
Yes. And that is what the motive of KBS, a knowledge booster session at GyaanStation. And I recommend all to please share and do join this every Thursday 4 to 5:30. We also have our other programs. Also on Saturday, we are coming up with a very interesting topic. Saturday, that is on 24th, we have a session on GST audit and how to deal with assessment, GST audit assessment and all. So there in that information I'll share with all the participant, and the timing is going to be from 4 to 5:30. And continuing the KBS session, we have planned session on Thursday, coming Thursday, that is on 22nd, with Rama Ranganaiki ma'am, company secretary as well
Okay.
as CA. And
Okay.
she is going to cover the amendments in Schedule 3 and Caro 2020. So here is the Zoom link and the ID password. So you can register directly from here for the upcoming session.
I have one point. My personal thanks to Mr. Bafna and Ketan.
Yeah.
I saw their names on the screen, so I use your name in my examples. Thank you, Bafna ji and Ketan.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. And sir, you made a session very interactive, involving all the participants, and we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Best wishes. Best wishes. I'll
Thank
join Ranganagi madam's session. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. And stay tuned with GyaanStation for more such enlightening and very interactive, light, as well as fun-loving kind of sessions. Our speakers are very polished, expert in their subjects, so don't miss them. Guru Mantra and Guruvar.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Well.
Here we end our today's meeting. Thank you, Ketan. Thank you, Jyoti. Thanks, everyone.
All can leave one by one, right?
Yes, we are ending our today's session.